Hey loves, this is Amber Mellon and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, girl, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you never miss an upload from me. And if you are not new here, then hey girl, how are you doing today? Thank you ladies so much for tuning in to another video. Today's video, I'm super excited to talk about this topic. It's something that's very dear and near and close to my heart, and I hope that my story, my TTC journey can encourage some of you moms out there who are in the midst of trying or trying to have another baby. I just really hope that it can really encourage you and bless you. Before we get into this video, if you are new here, my channel is normally about just encouragement, upliftment, entrepreneur advice. I started my channel on about documenting my journey, opening up a salon with no clients, mistakes that I've made. So that's what I normally talk about. And so you'll see on my channel that I have a lot more videos on my pregnancy journey to invite you ladies along. And I also just have other videos, random videos about me and my life, you know, that I wanted to share. So I am new to the mommy community. So the things that I'm going to share, they are my personal experiences. These are things that I did. What I'm going to share is, I'm not sharing this to tell anyone that if you do this, you know, it's guaranteed to work, or if you're not doing this, you're doing it wrong. I know the mommy community can be very judgmental. So this is just me sharing my personal experience, hoping that from my personal experience, it can help any woman out there who's on their TTC journey. So a lot of love, positive vibes, light and airy vibes here on this channel. So no negativity allowed. If there is negativity, you know, there will be some blockage going on. All right, so now let's just get into the video. So ladies, I want to share with you, me and my husband had started trying last spring, around the end of May. We decided that we were going to go ahead and, you know, try for a baby, right? And so, you know, all of my life I have been told that all it takes is one time to have a baby and that's it. And so, you know, as an adult, you know, thinking like, okay, let's go ahead and just do this, that it's just gonna happen, you know? So I quickly found out that that was not the case. It actually took me and my husband 7 cycles to get pregnant. I officially found out I was pregnant through testing at home, through an at-home pregnancy test, February the 29th. And I think a week later, I went and got the pregnancy confirmed, and I was 5 weeks, and I was just super, super excited. But the journey to get here, I must say, it was not an easy one. It was an emotional roller coaster. Just even thinking about it just makes me get a little teary-eyed. And so, again, you ladies know that I like to figure out my problems before I come on camera and try to share some advice. So yeah, when I first started, you know, the first 3 times I took that pregnancy test, and you get those negative, when you see that negative on that pregnancy test, or you see not pregnant, it's like the hammer. It's like the gavel, the judge has spoken, and that's it. And it's just, it can take a toll on you. And so I had begun to get in a negative mindset about it. Yes, I will admit I had in the beginning, after I got my first couple of negatives and it wasn't happening the way I thought it was going to happen, or it didn't happen when I wanted it to, I began to develop a negative mindset, which I knew was not productive nor healthy, you know, to even conceive, or just in general, just everyday life, waking up and being productive and continuing to go after my goals. I just knew that wasn't a good mindset to be in. So understand that, you know, with pregnancy, for me, my experience is that it's gonna happen when it's gonna happen. You know, I had my timeline for when I wanted it to happen, but you know, God has another timeline, and ultimately he can see the things that I can't see, and his timing is always perfect. And so that's one of the things that I had to wrap my head around, was like, okay, Amber, you just need to be open-minded. You need to let go and release control over this situation, and know that when it's time, it's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna stop it. You know, there was some concerns about, you know, I never tried to get pregnant before, and you know, when I start trying, am I gonna find out that I'm not able to have kids? You know, or you know, is my weight affecting me having kids? Like, just a number of things was running through my head, and my husband has been scared to death of having kids. He has put it off for as long as he could. Not that he doesn't want kids, but you know, they're just a big responsibility, and it's a lifelong journey, and you can't take them back. So yeah, he was like nervous already to have kids, and then I started to blame him. It's like, oh, you know, deep down inside you don't really want kids, and that's why it's not happening. I mean, I'm telling you, I was in a negative mindset. So I did some work. I had to just relinquish control, and I actually made a video about surrendering things that, you know, we want near and dear to us. For me, it was a baby. For some people, it'll be other things. But when you want something so bad and you're just doing everything you can to try to make it come quicker, that's the time where you need to take a step back and surrender. And so I just wanted to share with you some of the things that helped me to get through this journey and just enjoy it more. Because if you obsess over it and you don't have the right mindset, and you just let the negatives get to you, or let that it's not happening get to you, the journey, the whole process of it is not fun at all. It's gruesome. You know, it could take a lot out of you. And so there were some things that God was dealing with me that I had to change my mindset about in order to even enjoy the journey, like the process of waiting and just knowing that it was going to happen. So my first tip is mindset. For me, my mindset was so important. First I had to understand that this was not something that I have control over. This is something I have no control over whatsoever. And for us humans, losing control over something that we want so bad is one of the hardest things in life. And so I really had to surrender, okay? Surrendering something that you want so bad is so hard, because you're basically saying, you know, I'm giving this up, and I'm going to accept what comes my way. I'm going to accept whether it happens, whether it doesn't. But regardless of what happens or not, if it happens the way I want to, I'm still going to move forward in a positive way. And that is easier said than done. I had to do my work. I had to, like Ayana says, do your work. I had to do my work on the inside, okay? Surrendering that process. Another thing that I had to do is change any negative things that I was thinking about myself. I had to tell myself that, yes, I am capable of having a baby. I will have a baby, and it's just going to happen when it's time. And that's one of the things I had to understand. I had to understand that, tell myself that nothing was going to stop it. Now, yes, there are things that I can do to just prepare prepare to have a baby, which preparing shows your faith. You know, even when you're not seeing it, when you're preparing, when you're on Pinterest and you're creating your baby stuff, you're looking at, you know, pregnancy announcements and baby showers, you know, that takes faith, you know, because you can be on your TTC journey and get negative about it, and you just don't want to think about none of that, because it's too hurtful to think about a baby shower or a pregnancy announcement. But those are the things that help me to manifest this, you know, getting on Pinterest and looking at baby showers, looking at gender reveals, looking at all different first trimester symptoms. I mean, I did all that and no baby was in sight. I watched YouTube videos of, you know, what to expect, you know, TTC symptoms, all that kind of stuff. I looked at all of that stuff and no baby was in sight. So I had to continue to stay positive, to have faith, and prepare as if the baby was coming soon, even though it wasn't happening, if that makes sense. All right. Then another thing that I did to help me along my journey was prayer, lots of prayer. And my prayer is a little different. It doesn't look like, you know, what you would think of, like getting down on your knees or praying in the bed. No, I like to talk to God when I'm in the car, you know, when I'm driving. And so all last summer I would be driving and I would talk to God, and I would just say, Lord, thank you for this beautiful baby that's growing inside of me. Every time me and my husband would try, and I would be waiting during that 2-week wait, I would say, Lord, thank you so much for this beautiful baby growing inside of me. Thank you so much that it attached perfectly. Thank you so much that all my organs and things that are vital to getting pregnant are healthy and accepts the baby with ease. I mean, I'm telling you, you would think I'm crazy, but that's the things that I would say. I would like, thank you, God, that this baby is, you know, going to make it through every trimester. Thank you that it's going to grow and develop with ease. It's going to reach every milestone. I would literally thank God for something I didn't have yet. I would literally thank him every day as I already have it. And that's generally how I manifest things in my life. If there's something that I want and it's not happening right away, I thank God like I already have it. But before you can thank God, you have to surrender it. You have to release the control and know that it's going to happen. You might not see it right away, but prepare, have faith, and get things together as if you're already going to get it. So that was my prayer every day. I would be praying over my uterus, my body. I would thank God for a beautiful, healthy baby. And that's what I would do. Another thing that I would do is I would just think about, oh my gosh, how is it going to feel when I see that positive pregnancy test? You know, once I seen about 3 or 4 negatives, I was like, you know, I can't take this anymore. I am not testing again until I know for sure that I could be possibly pregnant. And your girl needs to be late like at least 4, 5, 6 days for me to take a pregnancy test, because when you see that negative, it is just so hard to see. So I was like, nope, I'm done with the pregnancy test. I'm not testing days past. I'm not doing that, because for me, it was just too much of a roller coaster. So, yeah, but I would just imagine like, oh my gosh, my parents are going to be excited. And I would just picture how my sister's going to feel, and, you know, my husband is going to feel, and my family's going to feel. I would just envision that, and holding on to that dream inside my heart and just seeing it in my mind play out every day is what really helped me to stay positive on the TTC journey, okay? So one thing that happened to me was I had a slip up in January, right? So basically the only person that knew I was trying for a baby was like my sister, maybe 1 or 2 other people. But, you know, I did mention on my YouTube channel that I did want to start having a family, but no one ever actually knew that I was actively trying, right? Because I didn't want people asking me, are you pregnant? You know, and just bringing up these overwhelming emotions that I can't control. So, yeah, mainly my sister was the one that was like talking to me like, Amber, you know, prepare, it's gonna happen. You know, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen in God's timing, but it's coming. You know, you just need to have faith and prepare. So I was doing all of that, right? And so in January, my sister hyped me up. She was just like, Amber, I feel this is your month. I feel like it's going to happen. I'm like, girl, don't hype me up, because I've been doing good with this journey and accepting, you know, when it's going to happen. You know, I've been doing good, right? And so I don't want to get myself hyped. She was like, no, girl, I just really feel like it was going to happen. So one day, you know, I was painting the master bedroom. I was painting, right? And I was like, I started to be like, you know, maybe this is the month that it could happen. And I was like, you know, I think I was a day or 2 late. No, I think I was a day late. And so I was getting excited. And then the next day, you know, my period comes, and I just go back into that place that I had took myself out of. And I mean, it wasn't that I was going back to that negative place, but, you know, I allowed myself to feel the hurt, you know, and that's okay, because you have to be real and honest with yourself. It's okay to feel hurt, heartbroken, or disappointed, even though you're believing in God for something and you're preparing for it and it doesn't happen. You know, you can't help the emotions that you feel, you know? So I don't want to say that I started going back into my negative mindset, but I was hurt. My feelings was hurt, and I was just crying. I was like, God, you know, I've been positive, and I didn't even talk to God. I wasn't even thinking this, because it was like, to me, it was no reason to talk to God about it, because He knows when it's going to happen. And it's nothing I can say, nothing I can do. You know, you can't trick God into something. You can't talk God. It's going to happen when it's going to happen, you know? And so I was just like, just hurt. And I'm just like, you know, God, I know it's gonna happen when it's gonna happen. I know this, you're gonna do it for me, but I'm just hurt. Like, my feelings was tore up, and I was sad, and I was telling my sister, I was like, that's why I didn't want to think about it, because I didn't want to get emotional and stuff and everything. But I was crying, and then God was like, Amber, what are you tripping? Girl, I told you when you was gonna have your baby. And so I thought about it, and I was crying, and I dropped my tears once God told me I need to stop tripping. He basically told me to go look at my dream book. He was like, Amber, I told you when you was gonna have a baby. I showed you. Go get your dream book and look at it. So I dry my eyes and I go get my dream book. Hold on one second. I showed this in a previous video. This is my dream book. This is where I write all my dreams that really stand out, that are kind of prophetic or trying to tell me something. So God was like, Amber, stop tripping, girl. I told you when you was gonna have your baby. He was like, go get your dream book. Go look at it. And so I stopped crying. I stopped crying, and I went and got my dream book, and I went to the page where I had that dream, you know, you can fly, where God was dealing with me about, you know, my mindset and believing in myself. And that dream, it showed me, the dream I had was, it showed me a pregnancy announcement. I remember it was so quick, but I remember it was this huge book. And I seen a Mickey Mouse, and the Mickey Mouse was like a little, you know, kind of baby looking Mickey Mouse, and it had a blue onesie on, and it had a yellow moon and a star, a yellow crescent moon and a star behind the Mickey Mouse. And beside the Mickey Mouse, it had the date November the 10th. And when I seen that, I was like, okay, God, I hear you. You're telling me it's coming, and I just need to stop being in my feelings, and I need to think positive and continue on. So that's what I did. I let it go. I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. You told me stop tripping. You know, you showed me when I was gonna have my baby. So, you know, I'm just gonna do that. So when I looked on Pinterest, right, I had saved like due date calculator, and it said like if you get pregnant in February that you would have a baby in November. So I was like, okay, God, I see you. So I didn't think nothing of it. Again, me and my husband try, and I'm just very neutral about it. I'm just very neutral. I'm like, I'm going to be so neutral about this. I'm just going to be positive on this journey, so when it does happen, I can share with women, you know, what I did. So when I was about 4 days late, I started to get excited. And I think I had mentioned, when I'm getting ready to tell you, I had mentioned in a previous video, when I was like getting close to like 3, it started when I was 3 days late. Every time I would look at my phone, I would see 1111. And y'all know I talk about angel numbers on my channel. Oh my gosh, I could possibly be pregnant, you know, because I was like, this was the 3rd day and I was late and it was no flow. So I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe this could be. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to get myself psyched up. So, but every time I looked at my phone, I seen 1111, and it would tickle me. I'm like, oh my gosh, something I've been praying for is about to manifest. So day 4 comes. And every time I thought about, you know, being pregnant, and if I am pregnant, you know, everybody's going to be so happy. Everybody's going to be so excited. I'm going to be excited. My sister, every time I thought about it, I looked at my phone, I would see 1111. And I was just getting tickled. It was like building up. Like God was just building it and building up the suspense. Like I was like, okay. And so that 4th day, I was coming from work. And I'm going to insert a picture of this, not the 18-wheeler I seen, but I'm going to show you, insert a picture of an 18-wheeler that I always used to see when I first started my business. And, you know, it was hard, and sometimes I would be down, and I would see this truck, and it would always say destined for greatness on the back. And I always felt like that was God's way and my angel's way of telling me, like, Amber, don't give up, girl, you got it. I remember I seen this truck, and I was so sad, like so sad. I'm not one to share my problems or be negative. You know, I keep all my problems inside. And definitely those of you who have watched all my salon videos on starting my business. I have been, through some adversity. It hasn't been easy, and I make that known that it hasn't been easy. So I had one of those days where I was just like, I don't know if I can do this, and every time I would think that, I would always see this truck that said destined for greatness. So I was like, okay, God, I see you sending me messages. So this particular time, when I seen this truck, I knew it was another message. So I was driving and I was just thinking like, oh my gosh, Amber, what if you are pregnant? And so I look at the truck. It says, you just caught a good egg. I was like, oh my gosh, I laughed. It tickled me so much. It tickled me so bad that it said, you just caught a good egg. Cause I'm just like, okay, what if I did caught a good egg and, and I'm pregnant and everything? And so I was just like, God, you are funny. Angels, you are funny. So I went home and I wrote it down, actually. I wrote it down what I saw today. I think the last 2 days before I found out I was pregnant, I was just writing down stuff because I knew God and my angels was like telling me like, Amber, I know it's been long. I know this is something that has been dear, close to your heart. You've always wanted a baby for the longest. And I know it's been a long journey, but it's finally here, right? So when I seen you just caught a good egg, I was like, oh my gosh, that is the sign right there. That is the hammer. So all night I couldn't sleep. I was in the bed. I was like, I was so excited. I was just thinking like, oh my gosh, what if I am pregnant? And I just started like crying just from the excitement of like sharing the news to all my family and friends who've been waiting for us to have a baby, and how I was gonna show my husband. And I just was thinking about the journey and what it took and all my work that I have been doing to stay positive, regardless if I got a positive or negative result. I was up to like 3 o'clock in the morning. I could not sleep, right? So that was a Friday night. So Saturday morning, I had one appointment, and the appointment was scheduled for like, I think 11 or 12. So I get up and I'm just like, should I test? I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna test. But something was like, go ahead, Amber, just go ahead and do it anyways. So I test, right? And so when that thing said pregnant, I was like I didn't even start crying because I had already been crying like the past 2 days, just like tearing up just thinking about it, because I just had this deep down feeling like for sure this time this might possibly be it. I didn't have any pregnancy symptoms. I just had my regular symptoms as if a period was gonna come. The only thing that I had that was different was insomnia. Like the whole week I wasn't able to sleep. I would just be up all night. And this was before like I thought I would I just couldn't sleep and I would just be on my phone. But when I seen that test, I was so excited, and the first person I called was my sister. Then I called my husband, but I was just like, I was so excited, but I think I was more excited the night before because, again, when you're manifesting something, you're living your dream in your mind every day. It's already real. It already happened. And that's the key to manifestation. That's the power you have to put behind something when you want it. It's like you see it in your head and it's so real. It's like a movie, and every day you watch this movie and you just see how things are going to happen and unfold and how you want things and what you've been waiting for. And so I just had been envisioning this positive pregnancy test, seeing the word pregnant. Not no lines, girl. I took the digital blue. I wanted for sure to say pregnant or not pregnant. So I had just seen that in my head so many times, and I was just picturing how it would feel when I would tell my parents, and I was just so happy. I seen that positive pregnancy test, and I think the cycle that we got pregnant, I think I even stopped using my tracker, my period tracker where it tells you your ovulation days, because I was going off of that and it wasn't happening. So I feel like I feel like most of it was God's timing. But if anything had to do with me doing anything, the only thing I would say that I did different the cycle I got pregnant was I switched my prenatal vitamins. That's something I had been taking for almost a year, is prenatal vitamins. And I switched from the gummies and I switched to a harder, solid prenatal vitamin, which I will show you, ladies. in my first trimester symptoms video. So I was taking the Nature's Place, was it Nature's Place? I can't remember, but they were the gummies, and one of my homegirls was saying that the gummies do not have enough folic acid like it's supposed to, and some of them are missing on the percentages are low. And so when I went to Walmart, I started looking and comparing to like the more solid ones, and I noticed the one that I picked had way more folic acid in it than the gummies. So that was one thing that I did differently. I switched from gummies to a solid prenatal vitamin, and I have been taking Rainbow Light vitamins ever since February. And February was when I found out that I'm pregnant. And another thing that I did differently was I tracked my cervical fluid. So instead of using my tracker, I just basically checked my cervical fluid, and when it matched the consistency of when it's the perfect time to have a baby, that's when me and my husband did the baby dance. So those are the only two things I can think of on my part that I did differently. But really, I just felt like it was going to happen regardless. I think this baby's going to be a boy. If it's a girl, I'm going to be happy. I really don't care if I have a boy or a girl, but I'm just going to be tickled if it's a boy, because I had dreamed about it already. God was like, it was so funny. God told me stop tripping. He was like, Amber, stop tripping. I told you when you was going to have a baby. And I'm like, you did? And he was like, yeah, go look at your dream book. I'm like, okay. And so, you know, I'm looking here and I read it and I stopped crying. And I was like, okay, let me just be positive and let me just get back into my zen and, you know, tap into my meditation and my good light and airy vibes. And, you know, that is my TTC journey, ladies. We started last May, the end of May, yeah, and we finally got pregnant in February. And so currently right now I am 13 weeks. So by the time you see this video, I'll probably be 14, closer to 15 weeks. So I hope, I know this is kind of long, but I just really wanted to let you in a little bit. And y'all ladies know I love being a little, you know, transparent. So I feel like that's the only way I can help you, is by, you know, allowing myself to be a little vulnerable and a little transparent and letting you in on my life. So I hope that something I said has encouraged you if you're on your TTC journey. And again, you know, it's you know, getting pregnant is not something we can control, but we can control our mindsets and how we're thinking about it. So my advice would be to just stay positive, say positive things about your body, say positive things about your life, and really speak into existence, you know, what it is that you want. You know, thank God for that beautiful baby that you're going to have. Thank him that your body is healthy and fully able to carry a baby all the way to full term. You know, speak to your body, speak the word over your body, and speak life into your body, and just know that it's going to happen. Those are the things that I did. Stay positive, stay focused on your goals. That's another thing that's going to help you get through this journey. You know, I wanted to be a mother, but I also had other goals I was working on. So that also helped me to continue on the TTC journey and, you know, have a positive mindset. And just know that it's going to happen, and when it happens, nothing can stop it, okay? Not nothing that you're doing or not doing. Of course, we want to be healthy. You know, we don't want to be, you know, ingesting chemicals and, you know, smoking drugs into our body, of course. But, you know, just the general, you know, as long as you're not doing no crazy stuff, you know, it's going to happen. So I hope this video has encouraged you. That's enough rambling for today. And I will see you ladies in the next video. Bye. Love you.